Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Friday, January 31st. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Megan Vaselli. Thanks for waking up with us today.
6 News is here for you now with the 6 things to know about as you start your day.
We have new developments this morning about the upcoming race for Michigan's U.S. Senate seat.
Republican Mike Rogers, who unsuccessfully ran in the Michigan U.S. Senate race last year, losing to Alyssa Slotkin, says he is strongly considering another run at the position.
The news comes after current U.S. Senator Gary Peters announced he will not run for re-election next year. Since then, former Congressman Rogers posted to social media that he may once again join the fight to, quote, be the ally President Trump needs and the leader that Michigan deserves. Meanwhile, Senator Peters said he plans to actively campaign to help elect a Democratic candidate to replace him. 6 News has learned former U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is among those considering a run for the seat.
A rare unanimous vote is now pushing forward a new resolution that aims to boost transparency in state government. The Republican-controlled Michigan House voted 105-0 on the measure, and it now heads to the state Senate for consideration. If passed and made law, the measure would require sponsors of certain earmarks in the state budget to publicly disclose their choices weeks ahead of the chamber's final budget approvals. Supporters say it'll help clearly define the project's public good and prevents for-profit companies or newly created nonprofits from receiving special consideration for taxpayer funds.
Lawmakers in Lansing say they're working together to try to eliminate state taxes on tips. They introduced new bipartisan legislation to the state house. Under the bill, gratuities paid to tipped employees by guest patrons or customers would be added to the list of income sources exempt from state income tax. A tipped employee in this case would be any worker who makes at least $30 a month in tips. Lawmakers sent the bill to the State House Committee on Finance yesterday. Stay with 6 News for updates.
A very unique event starts in just a few hours at the state capitol. That'll involve the unveiling of a new piano centerpiece in the newly renovated rotunda. It's being called New Keys for the Capitol, and it's to celebrate the arrival of a newly refurbished Michigan-made Everett Studio upright piano. Now, this piano, made in South Haven 40 years ago, has been restored thanks to David Collar. He spearheaded this search because he felt the Capitol deserved a piano representative of Michigan's rich history in piano manufacturing. The program begins at 10 a.m. That'll also feature a 60-minute showcase of music performers from Michigan, and we'll have a guest live in studio in about 20 minutes to talk a lot more about this event.
Happening today, University of Michigan Health Sparrow will discuss a significant milestone it achieved in the fight against COVID. The hospital says it conducted its 1 millionth COVID test. Hospital officials say Sparrow was among the first health systems in the state to offer patients in-house COVID testing. And you may remember, it even transformed the former Sears Automotive Center into a drive-through lab services site. Doctors plan to share details about this major milestone today and provide an update on COVID and its current impact in our state and around the country.
President Donald Trump continues his focus on reshaping the federal government by ending all efforts to promote diversity.
He made some pretty controversial comments in the wake of the deadly midair crash in the nation's capital, suggesting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs may have been to blame, although he was not able to provide any evidence for that. Here for you now is Jared Hill.
From President Donald Trump, theories continue to circulate around what led to Wednesday night's deadly midair collision outside of Washington, D.C.
Are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role.
The question as Trump signed a new memo blaming Biden and Obama-era efforts to improve diversity for problems with the Federal Aviation Administration.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative spelled out on the agency's website.
But the program also existed during his first term, designed to ensure recruitment for a variety of roles included people who have disabilities. Another program established during the first Trump administration worked to help people with disabilities get ready for careers in air traffic operations. On Capitol Hill, Democrats pushed back against the president's claim.
It just turns your stomach.
This while senators grilled 3 of Trump's cabinet picks during confirmation hearings. Meanwhile, back at the White House, President Trump promised new 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico, citing immigration and drugs.
Those tariffs may or may not rise with time.
Oil explicitly not included on the list of taxed items. Trump said that, though, could change based on price. Jared Hill, CBS News.